This wasn't a coincidence. You didn't find this message. It found you at the exact moment you were about to give up on a connection your soul still refuses to forget. Welcome to Psyche and Shadow, where we explore the unseen forces behind human connection. Today, we're diving into why some bonds refuse to fade, what silence really means, and the deeper truth behind a connection your soul won't let go of. This message didn't reach you randomly. It wasn't a glitch, a coincidence, or some meaningless timing. It showed up because something within you called for it long before you could even put that feeling into words. Deep inside, in a place you rarely expose, you asked a question without speaking it. You wondered if what you feel is truly real. You questioned whether it still matters, whether it has any purpose, or if it was something you created because you loved too deeply. That question was never lost. Even when you tried to ignore it, even when you convinced yourself to move on, it remained alive. And now, right at the point where you're close to giving up, where doubt almost replaces belief, you're receiving an answer. Not too early, not too late, but exactly when you need it. Right in that fragile space between holding on and letting go. What you're reading isn't here to confuse you or push you in any direction. It's here to steady you, to remind you that what you felt was meaningful, that your silent questions were heard even when no one around you noticed them. You've been quiet for a long time. You've tried to act like everything is over, like that part of your life is done. You told yourself you've accepted it, that you've moved forward, but something inside you never fully agreed. There's still a small, persistent question that shows up when everything else goes silent. This isn't something you can solve by forcing answers or overthinking. It doesn't work through pressure or impatience. It unfolds through timing, through alignment, through something bigger than what you can currently see. And now, that answer is becoming clear in a way you can't easily deny anymore. Stop telling yourself that you're overreacting. You're not imagining this depth. You're not holding on to something empty, and you're not loving without reason. What you feel has meaning, and it isn't one-sided in the way you fear. This connection between you and that person didn't come from fantasy. It didn't start in your head. It came from somewhere deeper. It's not just emotion or vulnerability. It's something intentional, something real. Right now, what matters most is understanding this. You're not meant to give up. You're closer than you think to something that's been forming quietly for a long time, something that involves both of you. You may not see it yet, but there's movement happening beneath the surface. Things are shifting in ways you're not aware of. That feeling you have, that sense that something is about to change, isn't false. The way their presence lingers in your mind, the way your heart keeps returning to them, that isn't obsession. It's not dependency. It's a signal. Something deeper than logic is at work here. And the first thing you need to change is how you see distance. Stop treating it like proof that something failed. Distance doesn't mean loss. Being apart physically doesn't define the truth of a connection like this. In many ways, distance is only surface level. On a deeper level, the connection is still active. There's something unseen that continues to link you both. And the emptiness you feel isn't yours alone. It reflects what the other person is experiencing too. This space between you isn't punishment, it's part of a process. A way for both of you to grow, to understand, to become aware. They still carry you within them, even if they don't show it, even if they seem distant or closed off. What's real doesn't disappear just because it's hidden. Something genuine doesn't stop existing simply because it isn't expressed. Don't walk away from something that entered your life with this much meaning. This love didn't come to confuse you or break you. It came from a place deeper than surface emotion. It came from alignment, something that isn't controlled by fear or ego. Soon, you'll start noticing subtle signs. Not loud or obvious, but clear enough if you're paying attention. Signs that their energy is reaching toward yours, even without words. But to recognize them, you need to understand that this connection doesn't survive because of actions. It continues because of what's held within. Stay grounded, not because you're waiting anxiously, but because you understand that what's meant for you doesn't simply disappear. Something tied by destiny doesn't just fade away. Listen to that quiet voice inside you, the one telling you this isn't over. That feeling isn't misleading you. It's the most honest part of you speaking. There is someone who cares about you more than they show, someone who thinks about you more often than they admit. This isn't the end of your story. It's just the part where you begin to truly understand it. And now that you're starting to trust your intuition, you need to move beyond doubt. Even in silence, even in separation, you're not alone in this. What you feel is real, and it exists for a reason. If your paths crossed, if something pulled you into each other's lives, if a feeling was planted inside you that refuses to fade, then there's a purpose behind it that goes beyond logic. You might feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, like you're holding on to something that's slipping away. But that perspective isn't complete. You're being guided, even if it doesn't feel that way. A connection like this doesn't awaken inside you without meaning. It doesn't show up just to leave you empty. When your heart keeps returning to the same person, it's not weakness, it's recognition. Something deeper is at play. Ask yourself honestly why this still lives inside you, why their name comes to mind so easily, why this hasn't faded like everything else. The answer is simple. It's still alive, more than you've allowed yourself to believe. What belongs to you on a deeper level doesn't just disappear. What's meant to be doesn't fall apart because of time, distance, or confusion. The resistance you feel when you try to let go isn't a flaw. It's a sign. Your soul knows what matters. There's a difference between what you see and what you feel. What you see might look like distance, silence, or indifference, but that's only surface level. Beneath that, there are feelings that haven't gone anywhere. Not everyone expresses love openly. Sometimes it hides. Sometimes it pulls back out of fear. Sometimes it protects itself because the intensity feels overwhelming. They think about you more than you realize. They notice your absence. They feel your presence even when there's no communication. Certain things remind them of you unexpectedly. Memories stay with them in ways they can't fully let go of. Even if it seems like they've moved on, they haven't completely. Even if you feel like you don't matter to them anymore, you still do. Some feelings don't just fade quietly. Some connections stay alive no matter how much time passes. There are moments when you appear in their thoughts without warning, moments they can't explain. Nothing about this has gone unnoticed, and you can see signs of it in your own experience too. One of the clearest signs is emotional shifts that don't make sense. Sudden changes in mood, waves of feeling that don't seem connected to anything happening in your life. That's because the connection is still active. They're not distant because they don't care. They're distant because they don't know how to handle what they feel. Sometimes emotions run so deep that fear follows. So they step back, not to leave, but to regain control. While it feels like everything is frozen, it's not. Underneath the silence, there's movement. Emotions are still there, just hidden. And sometimes that movement reaches you. You feel it in your body, your thoughts, your energy. You might think it's stress or coincidence, but it's more than that. When they think about you deeply, that energy travels, and it doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it shows up as a heaviness you can't explain, a sudden sadness without a clear reason. You think it's yours because you feel it, but it isn't entirely. It's connected to them, to what they haven't said. Another sign is when memories come back unexpectedly. You're doing something normal and suddenly they're there in your mind, clear and vivid. It stops you for a moment. That's not random. It's a reflection of what still exists between you. Sometimes you feel it physically too. A warmth, a sudden shift in your body, something subtle but noticeable. Other times it feels like the opposite, like something is missing for a moment. There are also moments connected to music or sound. A song plays that reminds you of them out of nowhere, or something new carries their energy in a way you can't explain. These things aren't meaningless, they're reminders. There are nights when they think about you before they fall asleep. Moments when their guard is down. Times when memories hit them unexpectedly. Even if they stay silent, even if they act unaffected, the truth doesn't disappear. And if your intuition feels stronger lately, if something inside you keeps telling you that there's still something here, you need to trust that. That's not weakness, that's awareness. This connection hasn't ended, it hasn't disappeared. It's still alive, even if it looks quiet on the surface. What they feel for you isn't something simple. It's something they struggle to fully understand themselves. Something they try to resist but can't completely let go of. You've left a mark on them that doesn't just fade. And that's why you can't just dismiss what you feel. You already know it's real. So the real question becomes, why is this so strong? Why hasn't time or distance erased it? Because this isn't something ordinary. It's something tied to a deeper design, something that operates beyond what you can easily explain. This kind of connection is often described as a soul agreement. And to really understand what that means, you have to let go of the idea that what happened between you was random. It wasn't just a simple meeting or a temporary attraction that faded when things became difficult. There's something much deeper behind it. Something that existed long before you ever crossed paths in this world. This bond is tied to a larger design. It's like a quiet agreement made on a higher level, centered around growth, awakening, and a shared purpose. When two people are connected in this way, the energy between them doesn't just allow a clean break until what they were meant to experience and learn has fully unfolded. That's why no matter how hard either of you tried to move on or detach completely, it never truly worked. That persistence you feel isn't weakness, it's evidence. Things that are purely human can fade away, but what's meant to be carries on. The universe doesn't remove something that plays a key role in your growth just because fear shows up. What you feel for this person isn't something you chose in a logical way. It didn't come from a decision your mind made. It came from somewhere higher. The reason their name still lives inside you, even when you try to quiet it, is because a deeper part of you recognizes this connection. It acts like an anchor, keeping you aligned with something real. When memories keep returning, when the feeling stays alive, it's not by accident. It's a quiet confirmation that this bond still exists. There is no chaos in this process, even if it feels that way. What looks like confusion is often just a pause with purpose. If there's silence right now, it doesn't mean it's over. It means something is being reorganized beneath the surface. While you're here trying to make sense of it, something is also happening within them. They're being shaped, prepared, and slowly brought to a place where they can show up in a more complete and certain way. The timing isn't about rushing. It's about readiness. The universe doesn't want you to receive someone who isn't fully prepared, and it doesn't want you stuck in constant fear either. That's why this connection stretches but doesn't snap. It shifts, it pulls, it pauses, but at its core, it remains intact. What feels heavy to you right now is actually the time they need to grow, to face their inner struggles, and to become someone who can truly meet you where you are. The silence that hurts you isn't emptiness, it's overwhelm. To understand their distance, you have to see what silence represents for them. They're dealing with emotions that feel too intense to handle. You have the awareness to feel this connection deeply. They don't fully have that yet. The depth of what they feel has shaken them. Realizing what you mean to them created something they weren't ready for. So instead of moving closer, they stepped back. That silence isn't rejection, it's fear. Fear of being vulnerable, fear of losing control, fear of feeling something they don't know how to manage. Like someone retreating to protect themselves, they pulled away to process everything. They believed that distance might help them regain control over their emotions. But that belief isn't entirely true. Their silence doesn't mean they don't love you. It means they're afraid of how much they do. They're not afraid of you. They're afraid of what they feel when it comes to you. They're afraid that if they fully open up, they might get hurt in a way they don't think they could handle. So they step back before things go even deeper. Inside them, there's a conflict happening. One part is trying to protect them, telling them to stay distant and guarded. The other part recognizes you, feels drawn to you, and wants closeness. That internal struggle is where their silence lives. But even in that silence, things are still moving. There's a shift happening beneath everything you can see. Eventually, they won't be able to avoid it anymore. Life keeps reminding them of you in quiet ways, moments that bring your absence into focus. No matter what they try, nothing truly replaces what they felt with you. Distractions don't work for long. New routines, new people, temporary escapes, they don't fill that space. In fact, the more they try to move on, the more they're forced to face what's still there. The more they pretend they're unaffected, the louder that silence becomes inside them. So when you start to think their silence means they don't care, stop yourself. It doesn't mean that. It means they're dealing with something they don't fully understand. It's a heart trying to process something real while still protecting itself. Their distance isn't cruelty, it's protection. Over time, they built emotional walls to shield themselves from pain they experienced before you ever came into their life. Those walls helped them survive, but now those same walls are what's holding them back. And slowly, those walls are being broken down. That process isn't comfortable, it feels unsafe to them, but it's necessary. What you bring into their life reflects something back to them. Your presence shows them what they're capable of feeling, what they deserve, and what they've been avoiding. And that can be overwhelming for someone who has been hurt before. Their fear isn't really about the future. It comes from their past. They're afraid of repeating the same pain. That's why they're being pushed into a phase where they have to face themselves, a period where they can't run from their patterns or their wounds anymore. It feels like isolation, but it's actually transformation. The distractions stop working. The usual ways they avoid things lose their effect. They're left alone with their thoughts, and they have to confront what's been buried. This isn't punishment, it's a process of letting go of what no longer serves them. When they come back, it won't be from a place of fear or need. It will be from a place of clarity. You represent both comfort and challenge for them. You bring peace, but you also force them to face the truth. Their ego resists, but something deeper inside them understands. And no matter how much they try to avoid it, they won't be able to ignore it forever. And no matter how much they try to avoid it, they won't be able to ignore it forever. While all of this is happening within them, something is also happening within you. You're learning how to love without losing yourself. You're learning how to stay grounded even when they're not there. You're learning how to trust without needing constant proof. Both of you are changing at the same time. They're being pushed to become stronger and more open. You're being guided to become calmer and more secure. So when things come back together, it won't come from longing or emptiness. It will come from balance. This is where things begin to shift in a more noticeable way. You've already been shown that this connection isn't over, but how quickly things move now depends on your mindset. Doubt slows everything down. Trust allows it to move forward. Every time you fall into fear or feel like you're not enough, you're sending out the message that you're not ready yet. But when you feel steady, when you trust what's meant for you, your energy changes. You stop chasing, you start attracting. What you believe internally shapes what happens externally. When you trust the process, you align with it. This isn't about repeating words or forcing belief. It's about genuinely shifting how you feel inside. From here, your role isn't to wait anxiously. It's to let go in a healthy way. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on love. It means trusting it enough to allow it to unfold naturally. Trying to control things or force outcomes only creates resistance. Real attraction comes from being grounded. And chasing doesn't only happen through actions, it happens in your thoughts too. When you constantly check on them, wait for messages, or focus on what they're doing, you give your power away. Detachment is about bringing that power back to yourself. As you focus on your own growth and your own peace, something shifts. You become steady, you become whole, and that energy creates a pull. When you're no longer forcing anything, the connection flows more naturally. They don't come back because you push them to. They come back because something within them recognizes you again. That's the power of stepping back. And when you look at the bigger picture, you start to understand why this separation happened in the first place. If the connection was so strong, why did it pause? Because it needed to. Without growth, something this intense wouldn't have lasted. It would have collapsed under its own weight. The time apart allowed both of you to grow into something more stable. At the beginning, both of you were still carrying old wounds and unmet needs. This pause created space for healing. You learned how to stand on your own. They learned how to face what they've been avoiding. This wasn't meant to repeat the past. It was meant to become something better. The distance showed both of you the value of what you have. That's why they keep being reminded of you, why your absence feels noticeable to them. This pause isn't rejection, it's protection. The pain you feel now won't last forever, but what you gain from it will. And as things begin to shift again, you'll start to notice it. Your intuition becomes stronger. You feel things more clearly. Emotions appear without obvious reasons. This isn't random, it's connection. You may notice patterns, timing, or small coincidences that feel meaningful. These aren't accidents. They're signs that something is opening again. Eventually, the fear they've been holding on to won't be stronger than the connection anymore. Avoiding it will feel harder than facing it. And when that moment comes, the silence ends. When they come back, it won't be confusing. It won't feel uncertain. You'll feel the difference. Because this time, it won't come from fear. It will come from clarity. This isn't a broken connection trying to fix itself. It's a connection that has been shaped into something stronger, something more aware, something real. So in the end, this was never about chasing answers or forcing an outcome. It was about understanding that what you feel has a deeper meaning and that not everything real is visible on the surface. This connection didn't enter your life to break you or leave you empty. It came to transform you, to teach you, and to prepare both of you for something more grounded and real. What you've been experiencing is not a mistake. The silence, the distance, the confusion, it all has a role in shaping what comes next. And while you can't control their journey, you can control yours. That's where your power truly is. When you stop chasing, stop questioning your worth, and start trusting what you feel without fear, everything begins to shift. You become steady, you become whole. And from that place, what is meant for you naturally finds its way back without force. If this connection is truly part of your path, it won't require you to lose yourself to keep it. It will return in a way that feels clear, mutual, and certain, not confusing, not one-sided, not incomplete. So instead of asking when or how it will happen, focus on becoming the version of yourself that no longer needs to chase anything. Because what is truly aligned with you doesn't need to be forced. It arrives when you're ready to receive it. And when it does, you won't question it. You'll feel it. If this message resonated with you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Psyche and Shadow for more deep truths like this. And comment aligned below if you can feel this connection in your soul.